What's going on, guys? Dan back here with the Regular Guy Garage. Haven't been able to get the car out racing. The weather just either hasn't been right, or they haven't been having a track day, or they have some sort of event going on that I cannot participate in because the car is just not at that level yet. So we're still waiting to see how the 410's made a difference. But a problem that's kind of arisen randomly out of nowhere is I need to get the car up in the air and see, is something with the transmission, right? The gear shifter. So if you don't know, this car has a C4 transmission with a manual valve body. And essentially what's going on is, the shifter used to shift very smooth, no issues at all. And now for some reason, the shifter is like super tight. Like I have to actually use a pretty good amount of force just to get the thing, the shifter into gear. So it's either the cable, which hopefully that's it. I mean, hopefully, I don't know, maybe it's just snagged on something or kinked or whatever. And if anything, maybe a new cable. But I'm kind of worried that it's like the selector inside the transmission. I did pull the dipstick out. It had a little bit of like a black fine dust on the dipstick. When I wiped it off and then I put the dipstick back in, I couldn't really get any more out of it. So I don't know. What I'm gonna do is get the car up in the air, check out underneath, see if I can see anything noticeable, and then what I'll do is we'll go from there. I'll probably pull the cable off and then see how the see if the cable is freed up when it's not connected. And then probably what I'm going to do also is just change the fluid in the transmission. I'm not going to do like a complete flush because I don't have like the machine that does it, but I'll just drain the pan. Since I had that black stuff on the dipstick, we'll see if anything was inside the pan that doesn't look good. Hopefully not, because I really, it's a brand new transmission, so I shouldn't have any issues with it. Let me just go on record with saying that I absolutely hate crawling under the car when it's on jack stands. I mean, I take like every precautionary measure possible. I mean, like I get the car up there, I shake the heck out of it. I whack the jacks with a hammer just to make sure that they're, pretty solid. And then I even make sure that I put a jack up under the car too, because I don't know, I just have this like huge fear that one of the jacks, is going to be a Harbor Freight jack and just collapse while I'm under there. So as you can see, this is over time what I'm working with here. Basically, I keep this little piece of cardboard underneath the car to catch any transmission oil that I can. It looks worse than it is because the oil just kind of spreads out. But like, if you can see by, where was that little spot? It was like right there. Basically, if you can see that spot, that's basically what just drips slowly over time. But I think I mentioned it on the channel before. It is just kind of a nagging problem. And I figure while I'm not racing, I might as well try and tackle this now. Because one, I don't want to be dripping oil on the racetrack, more for my own safety. But also, other guys too. I don't want people going on the track and, get caught on my little spot of oil. And then that'll be that. All right, so as you can see, that film right there, you can see some oil up here too. But this film is basically what I'm dealing with. I keep thinking it's this gasket that goes between the, it's pretty hard to film on here, but I keep thinking it's this gasket that goes in between the tail shaft housing and that, which is, essentially like this piece right here, and the actual main body, but I'm not sure. All right, so I'm 100% confident that it is in fact this tail shaft housing that's leaking. So what I'm going to attempt to do is, I have a trans jack. It's like a floor jack. I'm going to try and put it up under the pan and support the transmission in itself, and just try and slide this housing off and see if I can just fix this while it's in the car. Because like I said, it's pretty annoying. It's a pretty steady leak too. So I'm going to attempt to do that. But at the same time, let me go ahead and get this oil pan off. I got enough fluid. I'm going to go ahead and change the oil in the transmission as well. All right, guys, so got the pan off, and the one thing I really strived to do was to not make it look like a murder scene under there with all the transmission fluid. I got most of it in here, thankfully, but I mean, I had some spillage, but whatever. Anyway, inside the pan, yeah, there is some black material. I don't know if it's like clutch material. I don't know if this is from the transmission breaking it or not. You know, I put the transmission oil, I put the transmission fluid in, drove the car, and haven't touched it since. So hopefully this is just like some break-in, you know, stuff. There's not like there's not like a magnet or anything down in this pan. It's just a regular pan to catch anything. So I'm gonna clean it out, try and get this leak squared away, and then we'll go ahead and you know, we'll clean it out, put the fluid back in it, and then hopefully we're good from there. The one other thing I did notice when I was up under the car, the cable, the shifter cable, was actually leaning against the exhaust, the H pipe. So I am still going to try and remove the cable. I'll probably do it from inside the car, and no, actually that won't work. So I'm gonna try and remove the cable real quick and see you know, if that clears up our issue. I honestly have a feeling that that cable being pressed up against the H pipe like it was, I think that's why the cable is actually sticking. But all right, so everything under here actually looks pretty clean. So yeah, I really think that you know, material that's down in the pan right there, I think that's just like some break-in material or whatever. You know, never ran the transmission hot or low or anything like that. So just so you can see what I'm talking about here with this shift lever. So in order to shift the gears, right, you pull this kind of lever right here, and then you probably can't tell, but I have to actually, well, maybe you can. I have to put a pretty good amount of pressure into this thing to actually get it to shift. And so I climbed up under the car, and I pulled this cotter pin out to check for the shifter lever, which where am I at? Okay, over here. So I don't know if you can see. Okay, yeah, so right here, this is the shifter cable. Essentially, it goes into this lever right here. But I took the cotter pin out of, basically they put this through there, and then a cotter pin goes through it. But this is the shifter arm, and shifter works fine. So it's the cable itself. So honestly, I'll probably just roll with it and just keep it as is for now. But eventually what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put a new shifter cable in it. All right, guys, so I'm gonna do something here that I typically don't do. I'm gonna stop working on the car. I'm not gonna get this fixed right now. One, because I'm gonna wait for this gasket to come in so I can actually fix the leak the correct way, because I'm tired of crawling up under this thing. That's gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Check out the playlist for this car to see where it came from to where it is now, and then hopefully, you know, one day where it's going. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Should be finishing up this transmission issue on the next video. And then, you know, depending on what the weather's gonna do is gonna depend on if I keep the car up on jack stands and then we make some changes from there or what. So anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you in the next one.